Hi everyone! So this is a video that I don't usually do on my YouTube. This is the live Q&A slash challenge reveal that I did in the Transformed Homemakers Society Facebook group. I decided I wanted to post it here on YouTube so that you guys could see all the details of the upcoming challenge that starts on January 6th of 2025. That's weird to say. And so all the details for the challenge are going to be in this video, but you'll see all the videos that are coming out over the next few weeks are going to be for this challenge that we're doing that's revealed in just a little bit later in this video. And so I'm taking just a little break from my weekly, every Thursday videos that I do so that we can finish this challenge that we're starting. I'm super excited. I hope that a lot of you join the challenge and then also join the Facebook group so that we can all collaborate together on this challenge and just step into the new year with intentionality on biblical womanhood. So here is that video that I did from the Facebook group. Okay, I'm super excited for this challenge. I don't think that there are any questions, so I am going to get into the reveal. And if you do have questions, I'll go through the comments again and just make sure that you don't. But yeah, I'm super excited for the challenge. So I'm going to first read you kind of my heart behind the challenge, and then I'll get into it. All right. So one of the most beautiful displays of a woman's family rising up and calling her blessed is from John Piper. And regardless of what you think of his theology, I don't agree with all of his theology, but there's a video, and I don't think a lot of people have seen it actually, because there's not a ton of views on YouTube, and I can link it in the comments below after this. But he is rising up and he's calling his mother blessed, and he is reading something that his father wrote about his mother, so his father's wife. And it is just the most beautiful display of, like I said, a woman's family rising up and calling her blessed. And so, Michelle, you say you do like John Piper, even though I'm not a Calvinist. Yes, that's kind of what I was getting at. I'm not a Calvinist, but I do think that he has some, really good insight. But just like with anything, you take everything with a grain of salt. You eat the meat, spit out the bones, right? Okay, so yeah, every time I listen to this video, I cry because I'm like, oh, it's just so edifying and it's so encouraging for me as a mother and a homemaker. And so I've written down my favorite quotes from the speech. And like I said, I'll link the speech below, but the minutes, if you are interested in listening to it, are from minute 19 minutes and 5 seconds to 35 minutes and 40 seconds. So it's like a 45-minute talk, but that's the part that I'm focusing on. And what I want you to think about as I'm talking about this, or as I'm quoting this, is how this woman must have lived so intentionally in her home. She didn't just flounder. She didn't just go about her days, living in drudgery. She had to have been so intentional for her family to rise up and bless her so profoundly. And so I'm just going to read you some of my favorite quotes from this talk. So the first section is John speaking about his mother, and then the second section is John's father speaking about John's mother. So the subject is John Piper's mother. Okay, so he says, which goes to show Mama cared more about keeping God's name in my soul clean than she did her own hands. Oh, I love that. I mean, he's saying that his mom cared more about discipling her children than keeping her hands clean. I think everybody can relate to that. She never came down to my immature level. She was always mother. How quickly we look at our little ones, their irrational fears or reasons for being upset, and we belittle it. We mock it. But it's so, because it's so out of proportion. Don't be like that. Be like mother. She had a Bible saturated concern for my heart. I never felt better than when Mama laughed. I owe this woman an incalculable debt, and I want to honor her for that. Okay, so those are just a few quotes from John, rising up, calling his mother blessed, and then her husband also, and he praises her. So this is what John's father says about his mother. Well, his wife. I don't know why that's so confusing for me to say. You guys get what I'm saying, right? Okay. The needs were endless and her devotion always equaled the demands. I love that. Even though that's probably not like the most profound quote, it was for me because we get it, right? The needs are endless as mothers and homemakers, but her devotion always equaled the demands. I love that. Deep weariness of mind and body never deterred her. I feel that so much right now. My son is up like 6 times in the night, and I have 2 others that are also waking up in the night. So it's like I'm up a lot in the night. And the deep weariness I can feel, but it never deterred her. Everyone coming within the warm glow of her influence was cheered, encouraged, lifted, and blessed. Her glory sprang from a love of life. Her energy seemed boundless. She enjoyed being alive, and her life had beauty and purpose. My heart safely trusted in her. Oh, I love that. I hope that my husband one day says about me that my heart safely trusted in her. How beautiful is that? She burned the midnight oil. And then Piper goes on to say, I always went to bed before my mother. And then he says, even in my teenage years, I always went to bed before my mother. She carried herself with poise and great dignity without piety or ceremony. Above all was the totality of her dedication, devoted to her husband, her family, her friends, her church. She was supremely committed to her Lord. She now rests with him, who she loved and served. Her commitment to Christ has not been in vain. Her husband, her children, all her descendants will rise and call her blessed. So, if you haven't guessed by now, by that reading, but now that you know the heart behind, the challenge, this is the Proverbs 31 Woman Challenge. So that is the challenge that I've created, and I'm so excited to do this with you all. I just want it to be a transformative journey as we go through Proverbs 31, 10 through 31. And I will have a actionable challenge step each day, as well as the focus verse, as well as reflection questions. And the reflection questions are going to be emailed to you. So if you're not already signed up for, no, they're not emailed to everyone on my email list. So you will need to sign up for this specific Proverbs 31 challenge email that I'll be sending out. So those will have the reflection questions. And I really feel like those are the meat of the challenge so that you can really just marinate in the verse and then reflect on the verse and how it applies to your life. But yeah, when I introduced the challenge, and by the way, the challenge is hosted here in the Transformed Homemakers Society Facebook group, but the videos are on YouTube, just like the Bless Your Husband challenge. I'll post a link of the video that has the challenge and the verse that we're focusing on. And then the reflection questions are emailed to you. So as I said in the intro, which you'll see on YouTube when it comes out next week, what I want us to do is to look through Proverbs 31, 10 through 31, almost like you would look through like a home decor magazine, or, I don't know. That's the only magazine I can think of right now that's relevant. But like when you look at a home decor magazine, you're looking at, maybe the rugs first. And then you look at maybe the curtains. You go through on another pass and you look at the curtains. And then on another pass, you'll look at, the wall paint, the colors of the paint on the walls. That's what I want us to do with Proverbs 31 is just look at a different quality and trait that she has. And every single time we read it. So that is a challenge. I'm so excited for it. So does anybody have any questions about the challenge? And also tell me what you thought of that John Piper video that I quoted, because I thought that was just so sweet. It was so edifying. Jennifer, you love it. Good. I don't know. I got so much from it. And I've listened to it several times, and every single time it encourages me. I do highly recommend listening to it yourself because I probably do it no justice when I read it. But I love it. Yeah, so if nobody has any questions for me regarding either the challenge or anything else, then we can wrap this up. I do just want to reiterate that. Let me tell you when it starts. I don't think I have said that. So let me look at my calendar. Beautiful reflections on his mother. Love it. Excited for the challenge. I love Proverbs 31. So this is great. Yes, Chantel. Am I saying your name right? Chantel? I think I am. I don't know of any other way that you could say it, but my name is Kiri and everyone calls me Kyrie. And so whenever someone's like, yes, okay, good. Whenever someone's like, oh, how do I spell your name so that they remember it? I'm like, no, I don't want to tell you because you're going to say it wrong because it's not phonetic. The Proverbs 31 challenge starts on the 6th of January. So that's exactly a week from today. You're welcome, Sarah. Michelle, I loved what I heard of it. I need to go back and listen again because someone started talking to me and distracting me. That's what happens. You're a mama. Would you mind recapping the challenge for me? Yes, I would love to. Okay, so the challenge is going to be hosted in the Transformed Homemakers Society. Oh, okay. I posted a while back a question on how I could host the challenge. Like, should I do an event within the Transformed Homemakers Society group, or should I do something else? Someone mentioned creating a separate event for this. I think that was Bethany who suggested that. I do like that idea, but I do want to keep it within this group. She suggested creating a separate group. Because I'm trying to grow this group, I do want to keep it within this group. I don't want to do a separate group. So I think I'm just going to do an event like I did for the Bless Your Husband Challenge. It's really manual for me, but I mean, it's okay. I'm happy to do it because I think that that's the best experience for everyone in the group. So I'm going to stick with that and hope that Meta is able to figure out how we can do that, posting in advance within the events. So, okay, Michelle, yes, let's recap. So the Proverbs 31 Woman Challenge is going to be hosted in this group, the Transformed Homemaker Society. And then you can sign up for the emails. There will be a link. I can post it in the event that I create for the Proverbs 31 Woman Challenge. I'll make it very obvious. I'll post it everywhere. I'll post it in the event. It'll be below all the YouTube videos. So I'll make it very obvious. And you do want to sign up specifically for the Proverbs 31 Woman Challenge emails, even if you're already on my email list, because this is a separate chain of emails that will come out to you, which have the reflection questions. It'll also have a link for the daily challenge, but I'm also going to put the link and everything in this Facebook group in the event. So I really want this to be a place where anyone who is joining the challenge can come and we can interact. So either in the messaging feature of the event or within the feed of the event itself. I would like us to like engage and interact and talk about, what we're gleaning, what insight we're gleaning from the reflection questions and things like that. So, and like what we're doing for the challenges. I think that just is great to give people ideas. Would it be helpful to have a journal then to write down the reflection questions in? Absolutely. Yeah. They're in the body of the emails. So you can either like cut paste if you're more of a like techie digital person. If not, having a dedicated journal would be wonderful. You could also do it just in your regular Bible study journal if you have one of those. So whatever would be helpful for you. But yeah, I think that would be really helpful. Um, yeah. So okay, that covers the emails. The videos will be on YouTube again. Um, just like the Bless Your Husband challenge. Did anybody do the Bless Your Husband challenge? Who's here? I'd love to know. Also, okay, one thing that I want to make sure that we just go into this challenge with is, and I say this in the intro on YouTube, so you'll hear it again, but it's so easy when we read Proverbs 31, 10 through 31, the Proverbs 31 woman, to like, it's like a checklist of like, do this, do this, do this, wake up early, um, you know, um, all these things, right? I don't want to go into it like that, right? I don't want us to feel less than. This is not what it's about. That's not God's heart behind it either. This is to just better ourselves, and help us to just be more intentional and aware of how we're going into homemaking, and just encourage us. So that's what I want. Same thing with the challenge. I think it's so easy, like, with the Bless Your Husband challenge, to be like, oh, I missed a day or I missed 2 days and I'm going to have to catch up and da da da. No, don't think of it like that. If you can do, like, let's just say a few challenges a week, I think that you would be, light years ahead of so many women who are just kind of floundering in their homemaking and not really living with any intentionality. And so that's what it's about, is just living intentionally, and reflecting on how we can grow in our homemaking. So there's no guilt, right? I mean, that's the gospel. We ought never to feel guilty, and so don't ever feel guilty for missing a day in the challenge or anything like that. And then as you're reading Proverbs 31, never feel guilty for falling short in many of the areas, because that's what being a Christian is about. That's what sanctification is. So I will reiterate it in the YouTube videos, but that's not my heart behind this challenge. So yeah. Okay. Was that a good recap? I hope so. So, hosted live in the Transformed Homemakers Society Facebook group. That's where we can collaborate on the reflection questions and the challenges, the daily actionable steps, things like that. The links will be sent for the YouTube videos. That'll tell you what the challenge is, all of that. The bread and butter is going to be to get on that email list, because that's where I'm sending the videos, as well as the reflection questions, as well as the challenge and the verse. I think, yeah. So everything's in the emails. The group is for where we collaborate. Like, you're going to be seeing the links and the challenges and all of that multiple times. So if you're in the group, you're going to see it here. If you're on my email list, you're going to see it there. If you follow me on YouTube, you'll see it there. So, and also these challenges are going to be posted daily on YouTube. So I'm having a daily challenge video on YouTube. It's like a couple minutes long, and then there's an intro that's like 45 seconds or something, that you can just skip past and get to the challenge. So that means that anybody who does follow me on YouTube, the my regular videos that I post every Thursday, those will be on pause for I think 3 weeks. Oh, it's a 22-day challenge. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. It's a 22-day challenge because there's 22 verses in Proverbs 31, 10 through 31. So it's 22 days focusing on one verse each day. Yeah. So so my regular videos that I usually post on YouTube, those will be paused until the challenge is over. And I think that this is just a great challenge to step into the new year with, and just like kind of start off our new year feeling very intentional, motivated, encouraged, edified, and then just kind of give us focus for the year. In the Bless Your Husband, okay, Chantel says, in the Bless Your Husband challenge, you gave us a heads up if we require something like making our husband a meal. Is there anything like that in this challenge? And will we get a heads up again? Yeah, I will if there is anything like that. I think there might be a couple things, but I tried to keep this challenge. That's a good note. I tried to keep this challenge less about like doing a lot of things. I don't know. I guess there's a couple things where we're like doing like work. But like I said, the bulk of the challenge is more reflection based. The actionable steps, like the actual challenges, yeah, I'll give you a heads up if there's something that is going to be more time consuming, or if you need to prepare in advance for. But I think you'll notice as you go through the challenge, it's going to be less, I guess, time consuming than the Bless Your Husband challenge. I don't know. Although I don't think that the Bless Your Husband challenge is super time consuming. There are a few challenges where it's time consuming, but yeah, we're all busy. So I try to keep it very doable for everyone. More of a heart challenge. Yeah, exactly. This is more of a heart challenge. That's why I really emphasize the reflection questions, and just really taking the time to reflect on those questions, because yeah, exactly, because it's more of a heart challenge. I like how you said that, Chantel. So that's that. But yeah, there are definitely, as I'm like thinking about the challenges, there are a few things that are going to take your time. I think that there are also some challenges where you're going to be like, oh, I already do that. And so it'll be really easy to be like, oh, well, I already do that. So this is irrelevant to me. I'm just going to skip this day. I would encourage you not to do that. I would encourage you to think, okay, well, how can I make this an actual challenge for me today? You know, yeah. Okay. Michelle says the Bless Your Husband challenge was not at all time consuming, but very fun. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I didn't think it is. I mean, there were some things that like would take time, but I tried to build it into things that you already do. So like for example, making your husband his favorite meal. Well, you already need to cook dinner, so it's not all that more time consuming unless he wants something that's like super time consuming to make. It's not all that more time consuming to make his favorite meal, right? So I'm a mom too of very young children, so I try to make everything very doable in the challenge. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to think if I forgot anything about the challenge. Yeah, so 22-day challenge. I don't know. Does anybody have any questions? I don't think so, but I am available in the Facebook group. This Facebook group is really where you can. I think I'm going to post this video on YouTube, by the way, so I'm kind of talking to my YouTube audience too. But in this Facebook group is where you have like direct access to me with any questions you have. So you can always send me a note on there if you have any questions about anything. Of course, you can email me too. But this Facebook group is where I'm like active real time, daily. So if you have any questions about the Bless Your Husband or about the Proverbs 31 Woman Challenge, you can always post them to the Facebook group, and I will answer. I'm so excited to do this challenge with all of you. I haven't done this challenge. So I created the challenge, but I haven't done it. And it's always so it's how do I say this? It's hard because oftentimes, like with the Bless Your Husband challenge, it's hard for me to not feel like a fraud when I'm like skipping like 3 days in a row. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sending out these challenges every day for everybody else to do, but I haven't done it in 3 days. But also, like, I'm human and life gets in the way, and I get it. And that's why it's called the challenge. So, yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see how I do in the Proverbs 31 Woman Challenge too. Because yeah, it's called a challenge for a reason, right? um, so yeah. But I love it because you can make this your Bible study for the, 22 days that we do it. Or you can tack it on to the Bible study that you already do. Like, let's say you do Bible in a year or something like that. You can make this challenge as time consuming as you want. You can really like dig into the verses. You can dig into the scripture of the Proverbs 31 woman. You can really take some time to fill out these reflection questions and to think about them and marinate on them. Or you can make it super quick. So that's on you. You get to decide. But yeah, so I'm super excited to do this with you. There's only a couple of you still on. So if either of you still have any questions, let me know. But I think that we can wrap this up because I think that everybody's pretty clear on what the challenge is. It's a week from today. So the 6th of January, great way to step into the new year. And yeah, oh, and then if you are on my email list currently, my weekly email that I send out, the Hello Homemaker email that I send out every week. Happy New Year, Sarah. I have my quotes. I summarized my quotes from that John Piper video in that email, so you can read it if you're visual. I also linked the video in there too, so if you want, you can just click on the video from that email and you can go check that out. I know you're all busy, so it's a 45-minute video, so I told you the minutes that I like to listen to because there's kind of a lot of fluff in the beginning. And John Piper, he always speaks very poetically, so I just condensed it down to the parts that I love. So anyway, Happy New Year, everyone. I'm so excited to do the Proverbs 31 Woman Challenge with you. And do let me know if you have any questions in the comments below or in the Facebook group. All right, I'll see you later.